Colin, tell us what's on your radar.
As the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan have thankfully ended and are winding down after more than 2 decades, the need for private military contractors in those conflicts has subsided. To cover the shortfall, many of these companies have looked to foreign clients to shore up gaps in the business left by the American government. No problem, right? Businesses need clients and people need jobs. Or maybe not. One of these private military or security groups actually trained at least 4 individuals directly involved in the killing of the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi, and were potentially part of other widespread and coordinated acts of kidnapping and torture in efforts to clamp down on dissent inside the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. According to the New York Times, the Tier 1 group, based in Arkansas, and other persons familiar with the training said it included surveillance tactics, close-quarter combat techniques, and safe marksmanship. When questioned about this, Mr. Louis Bremer, the head of Tier 1's parent company, said the training provided was unrelated to their subsequent heinous attacks. So wait a minute. Tier 1 trained Saudi nationals on how to become better killers, and when they killed a Washington Post journalist, the training had nothing to do with that? Come on. What's equally troubling is that this training occurred in the States and was approved by our own State Department. And we've seen this before. These 4 entered the United States perfectly legally on visas in the same way that another Saudi, Second Lieutenant Mohammed al-Shamrani, a Royal Saudi Air Force officer who opened fire and killed 3 people at a naval air station in Pensacola, Florida, entered the United States. Okay, so we've seen on multiple occasions that providing training from some of the United States' most highly trained ex-military individuals to individuals from countries in which there are both religious extremists and leaders that are intent on crushing political dissent will have pretty heinous consequences. Perhaps we should reevaluate our relationships and military intertwinement with repressive governments that don't actually share our same values. Robbie, what do you think? We're training people who end up killing Americans and killing journalists. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, you and I are going to be very aligned on this. I thank you for calling attention to this. You know, we have made such a mess of the Middle East, of other places because of our involvement, but not just because, you know, we overthrow their governments and then we expect democracy to take root, and that's failed time and time again. But yes, all the other ways we meddle, the training of killers and the weapons we leave behind, we go there, we overturn the Jenga tower, and then we don't pick up the pieces afterward. And that's happened time and time again. Khashoggi's case is, this is just a very palpable example of the horrors of excusing the Saudi regime. There's a great film on Khashoggi, The Dissident, out right now. Of course, you can't watch it on Netflix because they were too afraid to, make the Saudis mad, so you got to find it elsewhere.
Where is it? I'd love to see it.
Yeah, I don't even know where you can. Okay. You can find it, but it doesn't have a major distributor. It's online, but no Netflix.
You heard that from both of us. Find The Dissident. What I'll say about this is that I think it's just, when we have this kind of close military alliance with repressive governments that are fundamentally opposed to most of the things that we as Americans say we stand for, these are really tenuous relationships.
Yeah.
Why do we even have these kind of relationships where we're providing them military training by some of the best trained United States military personnel, right, whether they're on active duty or not?
Right.
I mean, there's something fundamentally wrong with that, especially when they go back to their home countries and essentially terrorize their countries and kill journalists. This is a practice that should be stopped. I understand that some of these people are our allies because of regional, other regional dynamics, but at the end of the day, the United States military and or people who are private contractors who were United States military shouldn't be enabling these people to be better terrorists and terrorizers of their home countries.
And then we wonder why they hate us. We wonder why the people of these countries don't like us when we have trained the thugs to antagonize them, to strip them of their rights, to torture them. There's no mystery there. And you're right. It is complicated. We do sometimes have to have these very uncomfortable relationships with thuggish dictator-like people. We were more supportive of kind of secular dictators in many Middle Eastern countries. Then we overthrew or allowed them to be overthrown, and we get ISIS, we get religious totalitarianism that seems worse, and we wish we couldn't do that. The lesson I've taken away is just be less involved. I mean, we can't fix these countries' problems for them. Be less militarily involved.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm very glad that the New York Times and the Washington Post wrote these series of stories.
Yes.
Because this is something that we have to call greater attention to, and we've got to unwind, in my opinion, our military training and military involvement with repressive dictatorial regimes, period.
So many people don't even know, American citizens don't know the full extent of where we are and what we're doing. I don't even know it. The State Department is so vast. We have people everywhere. We have bases everywhere. We have our hands and our fingers involved in everything. Mm-hmm. And then it blows up in our face. And how can we be surprised? We have to stop doing that. Yeah. We have to take care of our own citizens. We have to downscale our efforts to mold the entire world, from using guns and knives to do it. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's an age-old argument about whether or not the United States can actually police the entirety of the world, and whether or not it's our responsibility. We'll be looking forward to your radar next.